Yes, 1 in 3 American millionaires never earned 6 figures in a year. 79% got zero inheritance. The top job wasn't even doctor, it was engineer, with teachers coming in third. So how did regular people end up with $1 million? 2 studies cracked the code, and habit number 1 shocked even the guy who ran the research. So let's start with number 10. It's waking up before the sun. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, is answering customer emails at 3:45 in the morning every single day. He's at the gym by 5. And before most people have even hit snooze, he's already read 700 customer emails. This guy isn't some outlier. In Thomas Corley's 5-year study of 233 wealthy people, 44% of them woke up 3 full hours before their workday started. For self-made millionaires, it jumped to 55%. And they weren't just sipping coffee. Those quiet hours went straight into reading, exercising, or attacking the biggest task of the day. Corley called it sharpening your axe. A tiny edge, repeated every day, stacking up for decades. You probably scroll your phone the first hour and wonder why you feel behind by lunch. Wealthy people flip that whole equation. However, waking up early is useless if you fill those hours with the wrong stuff, which brings up a habit rich people cut out on purpose. Now, number 9 sounds soft, but the numbers hit hard. It's cutting out the gossip. 79% of low-income people in Corley's study admitted to gossiping regularly. For the wealthy, that number was only 6%. Rich people don't sit around ripping their coworkers or hate watching their neighbors or trashing celebrities they've never met. They see it as wasted brain space that pays them back nothing. Gossip drains your focus and builds negative loops in your head that follow you into every single decision. And it quietly poisons the exact relationships you'll need later when things get hard. Warren Buffett once said your reputation takes 20 years to build and 5 minutes to ruin. So wealthy people protect their circle by refusing to be the person who talks about everyone. They stay locked on their own goals instead. But focus only works if you actually know what you're aiming at. That's exactly the target this next habit locks in. Number 8 is really simple. It's writing the goal down on paper. 67% of the wealthy in Corley's research wrote their goals down. Only 17% of the poor did the same. And 80% of self-made millionaires were obsessed with chasing one big goal at a time. It wasn't 5 different goals scattered around, and it wasn't some fuzzy dream about being rich someday. One clear target in writing broken into daily steps you can attack. When a goal only lives in your head, your brain treats it like a maybe. The second it hits paper, your brain treats it like a real object in the world. Every morning, the wealthy look at that list. They cross off yesterday's wins and pick the next move. That's the whole system. No manifesting, no fancy apps, no vision board. Just the same clear target sitting in front of your face every day. However, no written goal survives if your body can't keep up with it, which is where habit 7 takes over. It's moving your body every single day. 76% of the wealthy in Corley's study did at least 30 minutes of aerobic exercise every day. Walking, jogging, biking, swimming. It's not about looking good in the mirror. It determines the energy it hands back to you. Richard Branson has said his morning workouts give him 4 extra productive hours a day. Rich people treat their body like a business asset. Sick days cost real money. Low energy costs bad decisions. Cardio also pushes more oxygen and glucose into your brain, which literally sharpens how you think. Corley found almost every self-made millionaire in his group did this. Working out wasn't a hobby to them, it was armor for the next 30 years of grinding. You can't out-earn a broken body, and you can't grind for 30 years if you burn out at 40, so a strong body is the foundation. But even that loses the game to a distracted brain. That's exactly what Habit 6 fixes. It's cutting the mindless scroll. 67% of the wealthy in Corley's data watched 1 hour or less of TV every day. Only 6% watched reality shows. Meanwhile, low earners were more than twice as likely to spend an hour a day scrolling online or on social media. That isn't judgment, that's just the raw data from the study. Rich people saw time as the most expensive thing they owned. Every hour on Instagram was an hour not spent building the next income stream, learning a new skill, or resting for tomorrow. Corley wrote that once you start seeing time as the biggest risk you carry, you get brutally honest about where every hour actually goes. The average adult now burns 3 to 4 hours a day just on their phone. Wealthy people cut that number to almost nothing on purpose. However, cutting the scroll only frees up the hours. The next habit in the survey decides what actually fills them. Number 5 is Warren Buffett's entire secret. It's reading for 30 minutes every day. 88% of the wealthy in Corley's study read 30 minutes or more every single day. It wasn't reading for fun, it was reading for education. 96% of self-made millionaires did the exact same thing. Buffett himself still reads 5 to 6 hours a day. Early in his career, he was hitting 600 to 1,000 pages a day. He told business students to read 500 pages a day, calling it compound interest for the brain. And he wasn't joking. Bill Gates disappears into a cabin twice a year for what he calls his think weeks. ripping through up to 100 technical papers in 7 days. Mark Cuban still reads 3 hours every single day. Wealthy people mostly read biographies, history, and self-improvement, not fiction. They're literally stealing the thinking patterns of people who already won. A library card costs $0, but being sharp with nothing in the bank still leaves you broke. That's when the real money habits start. Number 4 is the one rich people never brag about. It's living way below your paycheck. Ramsey Solutions ran the biggest millionaire study ever done. 10,000 millionaires surveyed. 93% said they used coupons regularly. Most spent $200 or less a month on restaurants. Warren Buffett still lives in the same Omaha house he bought for $31,500 in 1958. He's now worth over $140 billion, and he could buy that same house 129,000 times over. He stays put anyway. Corley's research showed the exact same pattern. His number one habit that blocks people from getting rich is raising your lifestyle every time your income goes up. Bigger paycheck, bigger car, bigger apartment, same empty bank account. Real millionaires save at least 20% of every dollar they earn. They drive the old car and cook at home. That gap between what they make and spend is what actually gets invested. So saving alone can't grow the number fast enough. That gap has to become a machine. Habit 3 is where the real wealth gets built. It's having more than one paycheck. 65% of self-made millionaires in Corley's research had at least 3 streams of income before they hit their first million. 45% had 4, 29% had 5 or more. Rental properties, dividend investments, side businesses, royalties, freelance income. Not one single job carrying the whole weight of their life. Mark Cuban started investing as a teenager. Richard Branson runs hundreds of companies under Virgin. Even Buffett's dividend income alone would make most people rich forever. Corley called one paycheck a cage. If your only stream shuts off, so do you. Wealthy people build income like a river system. One dries up in a bad year, the others keep flowing, and the second stream doesn't have to be huge to start, it just has to exist. However, having those streams still isn't wealth. Wealth is what those streams quietly turn into while you sleep. Number 2 is what actually makes the money multiply. It's automating your investments early. 8 out of 10 of Ramsey's millionaires invested consistently in their 401k. The average one hit $1 million net worth after 28 years of steady investing. It wasn't one lucky bet or a crypto moonshot or a house flip. Just decades of automatic contributions running quietly in the background. Fidelity ran the actual math. Someone investing $6,000 a year starting at age 25 ends up with roughly $1.5 million by 67. Wait until 30 to start, and you land at about $1 million. Same deposit, same returns. 5 years of delay cost you nearly $500,000. That's compound interest doing every bit of the heavy lifting. Wealthy people set their investments up to run without them. Money leaves the account before they can even spend it, month after month. But the smartest people in Corley's whole study didn't do any of this alone. And that's the habit that surprised him the most. Which finally brings us to number 1. It's getting around people already ahead of you. Corley called this the single fastest way to build wealth. It wasn't stocks or businesses. What actually did it was the people around them. The wealthy in his study protected their inner circle like their life depended on it. They spent 5 or more hours a month networking on purpose and hunted for mentors, treating those relationships as the shortcut every broke person was ignoring. Corley wrote that mentors don't just cheer you on. They actively teach you what to do and what not to do at every step. Jim Rohn said you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The data backs him up completely. Wealthy people cut ties with negative, gossipy, broke energy on purpose. They filled that space with people already living the life they wanted. Your bank account will slowly start looking like the bank accounts of the people you eat lunch with. That's the whole game. Pick your 5 very wisely. That's the whole 10. If you built even 3 of these into your week starting tomorrow, you'd already be doing more than most people ever do in their entire lives. Don't settle for your baseline. Go beyond it.